Tom Aspinall is furious with the UFC, and in brand new footage, he's finally letting all of his frustration out.
My opinion, I think it's a huge risk.
Yeah.
It's a huge risk. You're younger, you're athletic, you hit hard, you pose problems. We don't have much data on you, meaning that we don't know what happens if you do.
I honestly can see Jon's point of view. I get it. In my opinion, if you look at his body of work over the last 15 years, he's like as close as you can get to perfection as possible. He's like 37, 38 years old, but not only that, he's got 1 million miles on the clock. So he's got a lot of damage on the body. He's took a lot of shots to the head. And that's not me saying anything negative about it. That's the reality of it. And I'm sure Jon Jones is aware of that. And he's fighting one of the most concussive punchers in UFC history. And I just think I can exploit it. Like, I think to get out the way of me for 25 minutes at this point in his career without getting hit once, and that's all I need is just one, I think that's going to be very difficult for anybody.
The pound for pound debate rages on. Dana White, whenever he gets a chance, he'll tell you Jon Jones is the man. Other people will say he's not active enough, and you're in a position to comment on that. What do you think?
What is this pound for pound bull? It's a load of rubbish. It's like saying it just doesn't even make sense. Like, don't get me started on that. It's just like, how can you have a pound for pound? What does that mean if everyone's the same size? So how can you compare Demetrius Johnson's style to Brock Lesnar's style and say if they're the same? Like, they've got completely different attributes. It's like, I've got a bulldog, right? It's like saying, right, if my bulldog had a really long neck, it would win a giraffe or the bulldog. Like, it's absolute bullshit. How can you even compare it? It's like...
After nearly 2 years of being stuck in limbo, Tom Aspinall has finally had enough of the games, the politics, and what he believes is the blatant protection of Jon Jones.
Anybody else other than Jon Jones. And, you know, they're saying, stay tuned. That's the message they wanted Tom to give out to people. And we had the meeting with Hunter. And they're going to try and fix the fight with Jon Jones, but we're still in April now. Still waiting for this guy to say, I'll have a fight or I'll not have a fight. And I don't really understand that. He's a fighter who should be having fights. Why is he just still sat around, not giving an answer as to whether he's going to fight or not? Tom's done all he can do. You know, he's fought in the middle of the night to defend an interim. He fought for an interim because the fight was on for him to do an interim and he couldn't turn it down. And he won that. What else can he do? He can fight lesser people than Jon Jones, lesser ranked people than Jon Jones, but that means that he may miss the opportunity to fight Jon.
While Jon Jones has been in Thailand posting training clips, partying, and doing everything except defending his belt, Tom Aspinall says his own career has been put on hold. He believes the UFC has avoided forcing the champion to face real danger. Now, with the division still frozen and no official date in sight, Aspinall isn't just asking for a fight, he's demanding answers.
All the stuff that Jon Jones has been saying to the media this week, and I'm sure there's more to come, but check out these.
You're beating guys who aren't even champions and you consider yourself a champion. He's not a champion.
So Jon said I need to fight more champions, but this is the problem I've got. Jon is the champion and he won't fight me. And he says that he won't fight me because it's too much of a gamble.
Aspinall to me is no different than an Owen St. Prude or Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith. Be like just another up and comer that's exciting right now. And I'm not into gambling my legacy for what's exciting.
And Jon, if you're not into gambling your legacy, that to me sounds like you're scared.
The message wasn't subtle. Tom Aspinall is done being patient, and he's made it clear that his prime years are being stalled by a champion who refuses to defend the belt. The frustration isn't just his anymore. It's spreading across the entire MMA community. Fans, analysts, and even fighters are starting to question whether Jon Jones is still the true heavyweight king, or just a name holding the throne hostage.
Your life, it's not about your story. If you want to enjoy your life, if you want to be a part of a reality show, if you want to take that money and delay things and hold someone else's dreams back from becoming a reality, that is ducking. That is ducking, because there is a time-honored tradition in this business, in the sport, in combat sports, in fight sports, in sports period, that the whole thing has to move along. It's not about your story. Your story is great and you're living your best life, great. Get rid of that belt. If you want to do that, great. No one will begrudge you. Everyone thinks you've done enough. You've earned enough. You've proven enough. Now allow someone else to have that same story. Allow someone else to write that same story. You are holding him back. You are holding back not only Tom Aspinall, but the rest of the division. So yes, you're missing the point.
Tom Aspinall isn't asking for clout, and he isn't chasing attention. He wants the real fight, the real belt, and the chance to prove he's the best in the world. But instead of clear answers, all he's been getting is silence, or worse, cryptic tweets and vacation clips from Jon Jones posted halfway across the world.
To the UFC, he told you his plans. He told you his intentions. Now tell us. Because either one of you is lying at this point. Either Jon didn't tell them his plans, or the UFC is not telling their plans. I said that the UFC came correct with the money. Jon asked for top dollar. They offered him top dollar. Essentially wasn't interested. That he's out living his best life. And so now what I believe is happening, as we've talked about ad nauseum on this program, and quite frankly, this topic is boring at this point. If they announced the fight today, we would say, great, now can we all move on? But I believe that the UFC pulls the trigger on things when they have to. And so they told Ilya, we need that belt because we need a main event for April in Miami. We're taking that belt. They told Islam, we need that belt because we need a main event for June in Las Vegas. Until they are forced with a predicament where they need a slot filled, they're not going to listen to what Jon Jones is saying.
He was the one who delayed till Francis was out the fucking door. He could have fought Francis a long time ago. If he'd just taken the chance of going up the heavyweight earlier, we could have had him versus a prime Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez was 240. Jon Jones is 260, 265. And you're telling me Cain Velasquez was too big for him? What a load of shit. Stipe Miocic could have fought him in his prime, another one who was no bigger than Jon Jones. So when he's giving it the big and being like, oh, well, people always think someone's going to come and dethrone me. And yeah, I get the narrative. That was the way at light heavyweight. There was always that next guy coming up. But you ain't never fought an animal like Tom Aspinall, who is as quick on his feet, who has the speed that he does at 260 pounds, who has the heavy hands that he does. You have never been in there with a beast like that. It's just not happened. I'm not saying that means Aspinall wins, but for people to do the Tyson Fury thing of going, oh, well, he's always...
According to Ariel Helwani, this isn't just about injuries or timing. It's about Jon Jones actively avoiding the biggest threat in the division and using every excuse in the book to keep the interim belt as far away from him as possible.
Call me a duck. I'm a duck. Call me a duck. Call me a chicken. Call me a goat. Call me a dog. I'm not in high school anymore, guys. A grown man out here chasing his dreams. It's funny that we really live in a world where being called a duck should affect me.
I feel like Tom's been such an asshole that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so annoying. And obviously you don't get this far in a career being affected by fans or whatnot. But he's just an asshole, you know, with his... you know, he's 30, so he's from this influencer generation where you hop online and the t-shirt sales and all that. I'm past that type of stuff. I'm like, bro, if you had a little bit more respect, then maybe we could have worked something out, you know, but I just don't even want to do business with him. You know, at the end of the day, this is a business, and fighting me gives him an opportunity to change his life forever. And I don't even want to give him the opportunity. Like he just played his cards wrong with me personally, and you know I'm 3 years from being a 40-year-old grown man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the press conference, going through the whole shebang with him. I'd rather not do. Fajeda on the other side, respectful, cool, barely says much. It's like I'll do business with you. I would risk it all with a human being like you. You actually have the accolades to back up your shit. This other guy is just a big mouth who's hot today. There's been so many guys who's hot today who are just gone. You know, Sergey was in the same position not too long ago. Now he's starting to fall off already. I've just been around this sport too long to give a big mouth who's hot today the
ducking. You're ducking the opportunity. You're taking that opportunity away from someone else. You are robbing someone else of the same opportunity and the same dream that you have already realized and lived. That is selfish. That's not how the game works. And so it's on the UFC to make the call. Make the call. And you know what? They may have already made the call. And it may be happening at MSG, and we're all being, we're all being taken for a ride here. But honestly, if that is the case, come out and say it. And please tell Tom Aspinall, for the love of God, because by the time that fight happens, if it does happen on that day, it's going to be a year. We're approaching a year since his last fight, and that fight lasted 60 seconds. It is a travesty. It is a crime what is happening to Tom Aspinall in the prime of his life, in the prime of his career. Give up the belt or fight. That's it. Defend or vacate. That's it. It's great. We're all happy for you. I love the fact that you turned your life around. Truly. Trust me, I was there. We did the walk and talk in Albuquerque. I covered it all. It actually warms my heart. But you gotta...
Even voices like Joe Rogan, Michael Bisping, and Chael Sonnen have weighed in. If Jon Jones truly wants to prove he's still the baddest man on the planet, there's only one fight that matters, and that's against Tom Aspinall. And yet, here we are. Rumors about Madison Square Garden, whispers of a November showdown, but no confirmation, no press conference, no official date, just tweets, interviews, and more mind games.
Of course, he just won
the interim title. He's phenomenal, and he is again the next the next advancement of the evolution of the sport.
How so?
Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem because he's a heavyweight and he's a big guy, a really big guy, but he moves so fast. And so his speed has always been like extraordinary compared to other heavyweights. Like, he just moves in. It's all like fast, explosive movements. So he's got natural speed, but then he's also got a lot of training to execute quickly. So when he moves in, he closes the gap. You can see like he's fast for a big guy.
Right.
I want to see it so bad.
John was shitting all over Aspinall, saying that
I think that's
lucky,
a bad way to go.
He was lucky that he blew his knee out with Curtis Blades because Curtis was teeing off
Doing
on him.
well.
Unless John avoided him, unless John used his wrestling to avoid exchanges, you know what that's all about.
Correct. It's called the Shop Shutdown.
Shop Shutdown.
I saw a 7-part series on
Cyborg.
it. Yes. The Stipe fight, which is just like, it's a weird thing.
Aspinall's an athlete, man. He's such a good athlete.
Freak athlete.
Very fast. Very fast for a heavyweight.
So fast.
Yeah, but we felt the same way about Cyril Gane.
Yeah.
But Cyril Gane doesn't have wrestling. Doesn't have jiu-jitsu. Aspinall's like legit on the ground. Very legit on the ground.
So legit that his dad owned jiu-jitsu gym. His dad's a black belt. He started doing jiu-jitsu at 2.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Aspinall is past the first round, right? Because we've seen him. He looks so fast. He looks. You're like, nobody moves like him. He looks like a younger Kane.
Right.
But he just keeps knocking these guys out so quick. So I'm like, let me see him past the first round to see if he has that.
He's the heavyweight champion. He's an incredible fighter. You know, he's incredible. He's one of the greatest of all time. I don't think he can hold a candle to Tom. I think Tom will do the same thing to Jon Jones as what he did to Marcin Tybura. I don't think there's anyone that can stop Tom Aspinall. He's that good. He's that sweet.
Tom Aspinall is training. He's calling out. He's ready. Meanwhile, Jon Jones is still holding the belt, still holding the power. But how long can he keep both before fans and fighters stop calling him the champion and start calling him what Ariel Helwani already did at Ducker?
Yep. And we'll just let you know. Yeah. And it's kind of difficult, like, mentally to...
Oh, yeah.
This is the fight against Jon Jones. Like, not... The fight is another thing.
Yeah.
This is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and... I'm trying my best. Trying. It's tough. As you said a minute ago, no one really knows what's going on behind the scenes apart from me.
Exactly. You're in office cooking.
I train all the time anyway. Just because I've not got a fight doesn't mean I don't train. Like, I honestly can see John's point of view. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. It's just about the title for me.
Yep.
I just want the title. That's it.
Yep.
Does nothing else really matters. So
you're like, let me do my thing. Let me fight.
I just want to fight.
And I think that's the respectful way to go about it. It's like, you don't care if it's John, and it's no disrespect to John. It's no disrespect to anybody out there.
It's only a matter of time before the entire heavyweight hierarchy is forced to rethink what it truly means to be a champion. and whether a title that's more about politics than performance should even be defended at all.
Well, Jon, let me first start by saying Jon is absolutely elite, and I completely agree with the notion that he's one of the best fighters ever.
Is he the greatest?
Potentially, but the way that I look at it is he has failed a couple of drug tests. To me, that rules you out of being the best of all time.
Really?
For me personally, yeah, I think.
Does it make him a cheat?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. If you're on steroids or whatever, I don't think he was on steroids, but he was on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. If you're on PEDs and your opponent isn't, that's absolutely cheating in my book. Unless you're both allowed to do it.
You've never taken anything like that?
Absolutely not.
Eat uncensored.
I don't know. That's his
Do you
prerogative.
care?
No, I'm not bothered. Jon Jones seems to get his feelings hurt a lot.
Think he's a little snowflake?
I don't think he's a snowflake, no. But
is he ducking you?
No, he's trying to get more money. I don't think he is ducking me. He's trying to get more money.
And I mean, as far as Curtis Blades go, there was also a lot of people thinking it could have gone over a round and a half. And I mean, you don't like second rounds. Like, what do you have against second rounds, Tom Aspinall?
Absolutely nothing. His coach said in the build-up, we're going to drag him into deep water. We're going to drag him to later rounds. So I was preparing myself for the later rounds. You know what I mean? That was me. I was going slow in there, man. That wasn't me trying to knock him out at all. I never looked for the finish. I was like they're saying they're going to drag me into deep water. I'm going to look in the camera and say it. Somebody dragged me into deep water. I'm telling you, I want to feel what it's like. I want to see if I can swim or not. Jon Jones, if you can drag me there, take me there. Because right now, all these guys are saying it, but no one can do it.
He changes nothing if I beat him. Beating Tom is just like beating Cyril Gain. Has a whole country behind him. He's hot right now. What happens to me after I beat him? Nothing changes for me. I'm not ducking Tom Aspinall. The Tom narrative came out of nowhere. He won a belt, and now suddenly I'm ducking him. I've never had negotiations to even fight him, if this makes sense.
You're calling out Jon Jones.
Yeah.
Right? That's the boogeyman. Like, Jon Jones is the fucking boogeyman. When he fought Gustafsson, he had almost no training camp. They said he barely showed up, talked to Jackson about it, and Greg Jackson was telling me, he's like, he didn't even train for that fight. He pulled that fight off in the 4th and 5th rounds. That's when he really turned it up. So you're talking about a guy who hasn't even been training. And then you saw the real Jon Jones in the second fight. That's motivated Jon Jones.
It wasn't a perfect fight by Tom. Curtis was actually fundamentally doing some things a little bit better than Tom. And Tom is so powerful. One thing about Tom is these boys he's putting down, these are the big heavyweights. Tom's still touching these boys one time. Mike Tyson had a hard time putting down the heavyweights that were 240, 250, 260. These are the guys that Tom is touching one time. This is a shocking power, guys. When I'm thinking of a Tom versus Jon, I don't love the idea that Tom is getting guys out of here so quickly. In 3 years, Tom has been in the ring about 3 minutes. But the other side of it is what he can do. How you can stop it? Curtis Blades had a plan. He's as dangerous of a wrestler as the division has, and that plan did not make it out of the first round.
Jon Jones listening to this right now, what is your message to the man?
I don't have a message. I've had enough. Let me fight. Somebody. I'm not bothered who it is. Just let me fight.
495 days you've been the interim champ. How much longer are you willing to wait?
I just want to fight somebody. I'm a professional fighter.
And that's why this could be the biggest fight in UFC history. If it ever actually happens, will Jon Jones finally step up and face Tom Aspinall? What do you think happens next? Share your thoughts in the comments below.